Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecha Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 35. And let's just jump right into it. So we start off with weekend review. This is the part where I talk about what happened this prior week, what's going on, things like that. Got a few things to talk about that I think you may or may not find interesting. So first up, a week or two ago, I started talking about how we're running out of space in the warehouse a little bit. Shelves seemed quite full. Got another one of these rolling carts. We moved a lot of the items that we only had a few of to that cart. There's still a lot of items that could be pulled from the shelves like that, but it frees up a lot of space on the larger, deeper shelves for more inventory. So we've got a little bit more space now than we did, say, a week ago. And I think I can replicate that process to create more space if necessary in the coming weeks and months as our inventory probably grows a little bit. So got at least a short-term solution for that, and at some point we'll have to worry about growing the space or moving to a larger space, but I'm hoping I can hold that off as long as possible, obviously. The other physical warehouse location related item this week is that I finally have furniture, I guess, for this studio area that's basically in front of me right now. It's basically just Santana's desk for editing. I've got a table and this setup for filming right here, but we've got a pair of chairs, a display case, another shelf type unit that we'll be able to put a TV on. It's going to be nice, I think. It'll open up some possibilities for filming certain other pieces of content, and just kind of be a comfortable nook for, I don't know, collaboration on video stuff and whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. I should have, hopefully, the first piece I think might arrive tomorrow, maybe, but I think most of it will arrive mid to late next week. So hopefully we'll have that set up soon. And then it'll be time to do a new tour of the warehouse with everything that's changed since the last tour, which is quite a bit, I think. The one other thing that people have been asking about a lot is display tools and paint. Tools are our most recent tool order is on the way, and I've actually placed another tool order since then as well. I'm trying to get into a more regular rhythm with display because their stuff is so popular. We often will get in shipments and then sell out of most of the stuff in that shipment within somewhere between hours to weeks, depending on the item. Some things don't sell out, obviously, because we do have some of that stuff in stock. But trying to get a more regular rhythm with that. And display paint, we placed our order a while ago, and it's paid for and should be shipping soon if it hasn't already packed and shipped. And I'll probably be trying to get into a regular rhythm with that once I've got a better idea of how quickly we sell that stuff, because we had such a low quantity compared to demand last time. I want to try to get a better idea for that demand before I start ordering it, for like placing multiple orders on top of each other. But that stuff should be in too. So usually it's about a month and a half maybe from when it ships, depending on just, various conditions, because everything's going by ship and stuff like that. So the tools we probably will see in a few weeks, because it's been a few weeks. Paint will probably be more like a month and a half. So that's interesting. And then I guess the final weekend review kind of subject to talk about, and I'm not even sure how to broach this subject, but I just want to kind of touch on some of the stress and anxiety and everything that goes along with running a business, because everybody sees things going well. Everybody sees things kind of, operating, just doing the thing that I do, and they don't necessarily see how difficult it is. And I'm not saying this because I'm trying to discourage people from starting businesses. It's totally the other way around. I think anybody who wants to start a business absolutely should. But one of the things, I don't know if I necessarily realized it when I started, would be how much goes into making a business like this happen. There's a lot of work, a lot of details that have to get dealt with, and there's a lot of things to be keeping track of, and it's definitely stress and anxiety inducing. Did I remember to track that credit that a vendor gave me because they shipped me the wrong thing? Do I have enough inventory coming in? Do I have enough work for the people that I've hired? Do I have enough people for the work that I have. That all these different questions constantly come up. I'm constantly juggling priorities and all that kind of stuff, and I want to try to give a little bit of visibility to the other side. That's not just the everything's great side, because this is definitely difficult. And the number of people that have sent me messages and said, hey, I want to go start a gunpla store, you've inspired me, which is great. Not really what I set out to do, but that's awesome if I'm inspiring people to go out and do something and start a business or whatever. But I do want to make sure people are aware that it's not just all rainbows and unicorns all the time, that things definitely can be difficult, that proper planning is necessary, balanced with just going out and doing it, obviously, because too much planning is a problem too. But this past week was really, I think, really stressful. I'm kind of into the less stressful part of the week, but the first part of the week I was definitely like, I don't want to say freaking out. I wasn't having a panic attack, anything like that, but it was rough. I had a lot of stuff going on all at once, and thankfully a lot of that subsided as I got through some things. But it's a lot of stuff to balance, and I kind of want to touch on that. So now that I've talked about that, I want to move on to the next subject, which is pre-orders. We've got a few new pre-orders this week, some more Zoids, some more Kotobukiya stuff. With the Zoids Raven Raptor and the Zoids Customized Parts Piled Bunker Unit, which I think is related to the Raven Raptor. I'm kind of assume one comes with the Raven Raptor, but you can buy it separately, I think. Zoids are cool, so that's always cool. There's also this new line, I think, from Kotobukiya called Evoroids, Evoroids, not to be confused with any of the other roids. Interesting little designs. They're lower priced kits, so I'm not really sure what to expect, but they seem kind of interesting designs. There's a new Hexagear Voltrex Wrath. I think it's a new design, and it's kind of, some of the Hexagear kits have very Zoid-like appearances. I think this one definitely fits in that category. And then two more of the Bullet Knights. It's related to that, the whole Mecha Girl kind of line. There's the Exorcist Widow and the Executioner's Bride, or Executioner Bride. So those look kind of cool. I think some of these will go pretty quick as pre-orders. So if you're interested in one, as always, send me an email, nick@mechawarehouse.com, or DM me, and I will help you with that pre-order, get you an invoice so you can get paid up and secure one. And hopefully we'll have pre-orders on the website in the next month or two. I'm starting to look into that more seriously. Let's move on to Restocks. So Restocks this week, we got a bunch of stuff, a bunch of random kind of items, and a bunch of them new, a bunch of them old ones. And inventory quantities were kind of weird. Some of these orders were placed with a secondary supplier, so a lot of these things I don't necessarily have a ton of, but good stuff nonetheless. So let's start with some of the new things. We've got, for the first time, some Star Blazers, aka Space Battleship Yamato kits. We got the Dimensional Submarine set, as well as, there's another one. I don't have it over here with me. There's a fighter, autonomous fighter, Blackbird or something like that, that we also got in. We also got, for the first time, some one-piece kits. I've only got one here right now. This is 1000 Sunny. There's another 1000 Sunny from a different collection, Going Merry, I think. I don't know anything about One Piece. It was not something I got into, but we've got a few kits from that, a few ship kits. And if that's something you're into, definitely check them out. Those I got very small quantities on to test the waters. So if that's something you really want us to buy more of and you're interested in those kits, grab them, because if they go fast, then I'll know I should get a bunch more. We also got some of the Pokemon kits that we had a couple weeks ago. We had these, and they sold really fast, the Piplup and the Score Bunny. These are the Pokemon Quick kits. I grabbed some more of those. Last time they sold out like early on Friday, so I would jump on those if you want them. I've got the Penelope versus Chi set back in stock. We grabbed another handful of those, so if you want those went really fast last time too. Another one that I only got a few of somehow I managed to snag, I think I only have 3 of these, the MGEX Unicorn. I wish I had a whole bunch more because I think people want them and they haven't been in print for a little while. So I've only got 3, so I expect those will probably fly off the shelf as well. I'm gonna juggle stuff off camera here. So if you're not familiar with G-Frame, they're basically, I think they're pre-assembled frames, or if you could assemble the frame, but it's basically like another little kit. I think there's like a static frame as well as an articulating frame that you can use. Yeah, there's a frame and armor. They articulate. They're like little kits, basically. G-Frame Volume 12, which is what we got in stock today or this week. This set has, you can buy it as a set of 5. So one of them's duplicated, but it's a high new Aegis Gundam, RX-78-1 prototype Gundam, and RX-78-2 Gundam rollout color. So if you buy the full set of 5, one of those 4 will be duplicated. And if you can also buy them individually. I don't know how long these will last. I assume they'll go pretty fast because they're new and interesting, but maybe not. I'm not sure. We also have pre-orders available for the Volume 14 set, which I forget which ones there are. There's some like GMs and some other cool stuff in there. So if you're interested in those, you can also pre-order a Volume 14. We also got a high grade in stock. This is the Freedom Gundam HGCE 192, but probably the most exciting new stock this week is 30-minute missions Spinaccio Sengoku type. This is a new 30-minute missions kit. It's got kind of a samurai armor vibe to it. Samurai sword. It looks pretty cool. We sold a bunch of pre-orders that went out Wednesday. We shipped most of those pre-orders that didn't have other kits in with them. And there's also a new option parts set, number 4, Sengoku armor. It's got kind of a cool articulating, almost like aquatic suit arm from the Universal Century aquatic suit kind of aesthetic. And between those two, those are really cool. We sold a bunch of them as pre-orders, so I expect that they will go pretty fast. So if you want one of those, definitely jump on it pretty quick. I think there's a few other kits I didn't show. We got some Dragon Ball Z stuff in as well. So if you're into Dragon Ball Z, jump on those figurized kits. And I think that's pretty much everything. Oh wait, and the big one, we got Tamiya and more importantly Vallejo restock in. So if you're in a Vallejo Mecha color, which is my personal favorite paint line, that's the one I use when I paint because they're non-toxic, they're safe, and it makes me a lot more comfortable spraying them in my house with young kids in the house. We've been very depleted for a while. Now we are only a little depleted. We've got most of the colors back in stock. There's only maybe a handful of colors that we don't have in stock with this restock. So stock up if you need paint. This is a good time to grab it. And if it sells fast, then I can try to get more if my supplier still has it in stock. But it's been, I don't know, the restocks have been slow going lately. I think probably because of, global pandemic supply issues still. But we got it, and so jump on that if you are interested. And let's move on to Q&A. Q&A is where I answer questions from you guys, the viewers. So if you have a question you would like answered, post it in the comments below, and I'd be more than happy to at least attempt to answer it in next week's video. So first one is from Gam. Hey Nick, seeing you grow in the warehouse space reminds me of when you had the store operating in your attic. What's your favorite improvement the warehouse brought to your business compared to being in the attic, besides the space, of course? So space is off the table. Space was obviously a big one. The number one, I think, most like my favorite improvement in being in the warehouse versus the attic is the improved ability to organize. So in a lot of cases in the warehouse, we had to have like 2 or 3 of an item on the shelf at a time just because there wasn't a lot of space. So it meant a lot of shuffling to restock the shelves every time we ran out on the shelves into, big boxes that were storing everything kind of in the back, so to speak. So I don't have to do that anymore. our extra stock is way up on the top shelf. It's a lot easier to fill the shelves again if we need to. But more importantly is that we now have these bin labels. So when I want to find a kit, we have a printout that basically tells you where that is, and you don't have to go remember it, which was how things operated in the attic. It was just my memory of where everything went, and I had a quasi-organizational scheme. So that's probably the biggest thing. I think it's just created a lot of efficiency. Okay, next question, James Clark. You were definitely correct with the PGU going Friday morning. Yes, those went very fast. So my question this week is simple. Are you taking the wife on vacation this year for all her hard work, and where would you choose to go? I would love to take her on vacation. I would love to go on a vacation. Vacation sounds wonderful. I'm not sure that we're going to go on a big vacation, both because I think finances are a little tight, and I don't know, the world and everything, and I don't know that I can leave the warehouse for a week quite yet. We do go fairly regularly, usually almost every year, down to Cape Cod. If you're familiar with New England geography, it's not too far from us. My parents have a place on Cape Cod, and it makes it really easy for an inexpensive vacation to go down there for a week or for a long weekend or something. We might do that once or twice. Not sure when or the exact details, and maybe we'll try something else, but I don't think we'll be doing anything super big this year, and hopefully next year we'll be in a position to like do a big vacation. Fingers crossed. Good question though. I'm sure she is going to be watching this video with bated breath to see what I say. All right. Next question, Rolling Fire. Hey Nick, got a question. Let's say later in the future, if you had the opportunity to open a new location for the business building to sell more items and expand your influence, where would it be? As well, would it be retail store or a warehouse? So I don't know that I ever would. The people have asked me if I would expand or open another location and stuff like that, and odds are no, because we're focused on the online market. That's really our thing. I don't know that we would open another warehouse somewhere else. New Hampshire is awesome. We got some great tax advantages. No sales tax. So we have certain advantages to being here in New Hampshire. I like New Hampshire. There's a lot of stuff here. I guess if we opened another building, I could see maybe having the warehouse and another retail location very nearby that is our retail like flagship, if it made sense. But in a lot of ways, I'd rather have it all in the same building for logistical purposes. So hopefully that answers your question. I don't know that I would ever, I'm not going to open a warehouse on the other side of the country, even though it would probably save a lot on shipping, the tax and whatever, and then managing multiple locations becomes a huge headache, and I feel like I'm struggling sometimes trying to run one place with a few part-time employees. Okay, next one from Carlos DJ. What's your opinion on Gaia Paint? Are you planning to bring any of their paint product to warehouse? Although being honest, I'm mostly interested in their metallic colors, clear coats, and surfacers. Loving the video updates and live streams. Godspeed. Thanks, Carlos. Great question. So I've never used Gaia Paint, so I don't know. I don't have a personal opinion on them from a use standpoint. I do plan on stocking Gaia paints at some point in the future. I don't know when that will be. I feel like adding new paint lines there, we've already have a bunch, and it's a much more challenging task just because it's a large number of SKUs. The product listings take a while to build, but at some point we will add Gaia. I want to add Armored Komodo products. I want to add, there's a few other paint lines out there too that I don't even want to talk about because I'm not as sure on them, but Gaia paints, it's all but guaranteed, assuming they don't create some sort of roadblock to me. I think that's all I got for questions this week. So that's it for this week's weekly update. This is it for Q&A. If you've got a question, like I said before, you can post it down in the comments below, and I'll try to answer it for next week. Just realized that I missed a question and wanted to answer it so I could get into this video. So Manu Gutierrez Gonzales says, hey Nick, I might have a solution for your storage space. You can simply put a shelf on top of the other shelf because remember that you are Spider-Man and you can climb to the higher shelf and get the kits from there. Sure. I think that's an OSHA violation. But But in all seriousness now, if you could only build kits from a timeline for the rest of your life, which timeline would you choose? And this is actually a pretty easy question. I'm obviously into Gundam Wing, so you'd think that'd be the first answer, but clearly the only right answer here is Universal Century, because of just the number of options for kits. I've built a pretty significant percentage of the more recent releases from After Colony or the Gundam Wing timeline, for example, but Universal Century, there are so many kits already in existence, and presumably there'll be a ton more. So that would be that. I don't think I have anything else today. So have a great day. See you all next week. Later.